Hi, everyone. Welcome to Decrypting Crypto with me, your host, Derek Silva. Before we get started, if you don't know me, I think I should give you some credentials. I'm an IT professional by trade. I'm trained on managing databases, web servers, email servers, networks, and so on. I have been in awe of what technology can do for our lives since I was a preschooler. I was taking apart my speak and play, speak and spell, that sort of thing when I was a kid, trying to figure out how it all worked. It's not always used to make our lives better. I know that, but the potential is always there. And these days, I run my own small web hosting company. I'm a municipal counselor, and I'm also the salesperson at a web and mobile development agency. You can find me just about anywhere on the web. Search my name. I'm probably said some stupid things in the past, but please don't hold it against me. So today I wanted to take a deep dive into a really cool company and protocol called Bloom. We're going to go over what Bloom is, what they're up to, and what to do with a Bloom invite should you receive one. So what is Bloom? Bloom is a protocol that provides solutions. The Bloom protocol allows any lender authorized by a borrower to safely and securely issue credit to that borrower. The big idea behind Bloom is to solve five problems with the current credit infrastructure. One is the high risk of identity theft. That's a big one, almost no matter where you live. The second is the lack of cross-border credit scoring. If you live in one country and move to another, your credit history doesn't come with you. It's essentially useless or worthless. Then there's creditworthiness assessments, which is fraught with issues these days. All of those things lead to the fourth problem, which is a limited ability to expand, whether it's to enhance your life and expand your business, and so on. And this is all caused by the fifth issue, which is an uncompetitive credit scoring industry, if one exists in your country in the first place. A lot of countries, they don't have one. There are 3 billion humans who cannot access basic credit services. Less than 9% of citizens in developing countries have taken a loan from a financial institution. And we know through the work and advocacy from organizations like Kiva, which is really, really cool, that being able to access credit, even really small loans on a very short-term basis, is necessary to help bring people out of poverty. A small micro loan of $500 or $1,000 can change the lives of dozens of people in a small village. So how is Bloom looking to solve this? That's, of course, the big question. By bringing together 3 things: identity verification for your Bloom ID, risk assessment via an algorithm called Bloom IQ, which all results in your Bloom score. So Bloom is actually an end-to-end protocol for identity verification, risk assessment, and credit scoring, and it's run entirely on the blockchain. One of the biggest problems in a lot of developed countries is identity fraud. When you apply for a credit card, a loan, a line of credit, a mortgage, you have to hand over incredibly sensitive data, and that is typically the very same data that a fraudster would need in order to pretend to be you. A Bloom ID will give you far more control over the data provided to a lender. Once they have integrated with the Bloom protocol, you won't need to hand out your social insurance number or social security number if you're American, your national identity number, which is really popular in European countries, your driver's license, your passport, or anything like that. Those types of things are already going to be identified and encrypted on the blockchain, whether you did that yourself or through a lender you have previously done business with, which has contributed that data to your Bloom ID. And you're probably thinking, well, what is Bloom doing about, existing lenders? They've actually got partnerships already with a bunch of more traditional financial institutions in North America, potentially elsewhere. But a lot of those organizations feel like their Bloom integration is actually a competitive advantage, so they don't want that out there just yet. But if you want to learn more, there's a whole list of partners on Bloom's website or on their blog. You can read all about that there. So where a credit scoring system does exist, if you're lucky enough to have one in your country, and like I said, you might be surprised that that does not include countries like Poland, Portugal, Spain, or any of the Nordic countries. They don't have credit scores, period. So anyway, the credit scoring system itself is fraught with issues. Not every bill you pay count towards your credit score. So even if you always pay your electricity bill on time and in full, but you accidentally forget to pay your measly $20 balance on your Visa, well, too bad. Your Visa or MasterCard is reported, not your electricity bill. So not to mention that if you're the type of person who doesn't want to take out a credit card at all, opting to save money in the bank like you should be anyway, you will actually be penalized for that when you actually, pardon me, when you eventually do need credit, like in the form of a mortgage. It's the ultimate catch-22, right? To make this better, Bloom IQ, the scoring mechanism, is being designed to take in as many signals as possible. Bank account balances, utility bills, your age, because your life and the credit you need at 18 and 40 or even 75 is very, very different. And it doesn't worry about things like whether or not you're a registered voter, which unfathomably it does in some countries. So you've got your federated global identity that you can take anywhere, and you're feeding more and better data into the system. That leads us to your Bloom score. Better data leads to a more accurate score, and therefore you should be better off if the current system is unfairly penalizing you. Again, your Bloom score will be used by any lender that's integrated with the Bloom protocol, and that does include both blockchain and peer-to-peer lending marketplaces and traditional financial institutions. The Bloom team knows it's going to take time to get everyone a Bloom ID and all the rest, so they're doing everything they can to encourage adoption. All right, well, we've gone over in some detail what Bloom is, what they want to do, so where are we right now? Right now, in their decentralized app, you can create a Bloom ID, and you can use any Bloom tokens you have to invite your friends and your family to create their own Bloom ID. No one person organization owns your data. It's yours and stored on the blockchain. And if you own Bloom tokens, then you get to have a say right now on the issues that are put up for a vote. One example was an early issue where the team wanted feedback on how many Bloom tokens should be staked when inviting a new user. Staking those tokens means I'm temporarily putting up my tokens and assuring the protocol at large that you're a good person to have on the protocol and that you're not going to mess around with other users or lenders. So I stake 0.1 BLT Bloom tokens, or maybe 5 or 10, whatever the end result is going to be. I think it's probably going to be either 1 or 5, which is pretty affordable. And I actually get that back in a year, assuming you don't mess up. So let's be honest. Right now, there isn't a whole lot to do. However, the team is ahead of schedule, and this quarter they're going to launch phase 2 of the protocol, which includes identity matching for greater assurance that you are who you say you are, and preventing malicious actors from trying to create an identity in your name, and also credit staking. Staking will allow people to essentially act as a reference or a co-signer for another person. Eventually, organizational staking will come, which will allow companies you've done business with to state that you have been or are currently a good credit risk. That's all coming this first quarter of 2018. The second quarter will bring the launch of Bloom IQ and Bloom scores. So to me, that's when things really get fun. You'll be able to check your score, and the developer ecosystem for lenders will open up and to check a given user's Bloom score, provided that sufficient privileges are granted from the loan recipient. You got to actually give permission, which is done these days, but we all know that there are obviously ways for credit card companies, loan companies to get access to that data, or at least some of it, without your knowledge, and send you free credit card offers or free loan offers in the mail. I think that's an incredibly predatory tactic, and I really don't like it. That's one thing I'm really enjoying the thought of getting away from with Bloom as my underlying protocol for all that. So after that will come lending tests for lending partners or lender partners, live loan trials for those partners, and in late Q2, the mobile app will launch, freeing you from the current requirement of having to use MetaMask to interact with the Bloom decentralized apps. I'll explain MetaMask in a second. So all of that to say that if you receive an invite to the Bloom protocol at hellobloom.io, that's the official site, that's why you should accept it. Where the company is still a few months away from a more full-fledged version of the protocol. But I'm really enjoying being part of the Slack and Telegram communities, and I like voting. So there's that. You can find a lot more information at hellobloom.io, which I've been slowly scrolling down here on my web browser, the blog at blog.hellobloom.io, and the Slack community, if you like to chat, at slack.hellobloom.io, where you can actually interact directly with the founders and a lot of the other really passionate community members like myself, and people just asking questions all the time. So on to some of the basics you're going to need in order to participate. One, you need either Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, or the Brave browser. The reason for that is that they all support the MetaMask Ethereum wallet. It's baked right into Brave, or it's available as an extension for Chrome and Firefox. You need to set up your MetaMask wallet, which involves clicking the little Fox logo in the corner, be in the top right corner of either three of those web browsers. After you install it, you click Create New Vault, and you follow the steps from there. The MetaMask website that came up after you installed MetaMask actually has a really great short intro video that walks you through the setup process. It can be a little quick, but you can just hit pause, do the next step, play, pause, do the next step, and so on. Once you've got MetaMask installed, open up that Bloom invitation email from whoever you got it from, click the button to accept, and the Bloom DApp is short for Decentralized App application, will walk you through the account creation process. Your MetaMask wallet will need to be unlocked for this part. You can lock it as soon as you're done, as soon as you're done using it. Because it'll actually create a little pop-up and ask you to accept or submit a message a couple of times. Make sure you do that. It's not going to send any personal information to Bloom or anywhere else or anyone else about you. All right. Once you've installed MetaMask, you've created your vault, you've copied the passphrase it gives you somewhere safe. Please do that. That is your secret key. It's like your skeleton, not your skeleton key, but it is your secret key to your wallet. Is the only way to get in if you move to a new computer or if you forget your password or anything like that. It's a seed phrase. It is incredibly important you keep that. I cannot overstate the importance of backing up your phrase, your password phrase or seed phrase, whatever you want to call it, for any blockchain related wallet you create. All right, please write it down on paper, put it in a filing cabinet. Anywhere is better than up here because they're long. If I've invited you and you do accept your Bloom invitation, let me know what your MetaMask wallet address is. I will gladly send you some Bloom tokens so that you can start voting. I have a lot of them because I was part of their community rewards program, the community participation, and I won a ton of them. I don't need them all. So let me know. I will send you a few. And if you do want to vote, you're going to need some Ethereum. Not a lot, like literally $5 or $10 worth should be enough. But you're going to need that because when you stake your Bloom tokens on a vote or something like that, you need to spend a little bit of gas. I know a new term. I will explain that all in another accompanying video, or just send me a message and I'll explain it to you. To actually submit your vote. Anyway, let's back up a little bit. If I'm feeling generous, I've got some extra. I'll send you some Ether too, some Ethereum. So to get your MetaMask wallet address, I don't know. I'm not going to do it here. I want to do this in a different web browser, but I can't. Sorry. So do this. Click on the little Fox logo. That's your MetaMask. Click the ellipsis, the 3 dots. Next to the wallet name, you should have given it a name, even if it's default when you created it. Click copy address to clipboard, and then send that to me. It'll start with 0x. All right. I'll send you some Bloom tokens. I have plenty of them, as I mentioned. If someone else invited you to Bloom, hopefully you've come to some sort of agreement on them sending you some free Bloom tokens or exchanging another cryptocurrency or even some cash for those or what have you. And you can follow the same steps. So I know you might be thinking, Derek, this is all well and good. but I don't have a clue what Ethereum or blockchain is. I don't have any cryptocurrencies at all, but I like the idea. What do I do? Okay, so I got you covered here. Bloom is going to be doing what's called an airdrop of Bloom tokens next month, February 2018, on earn.com. So if you use the link in the description here to create an earn.com account, you're going to get $1 free worth of Bitcoin. It's not a lot. You're not going to be able to really do anything with it right now, but it will be yours. And you'll also get emails from earn.com when other cryptocurrency airdrops are happening. An airdrop is exactly what it sounds like. They drop free coins or tokens to users of a specific platform, sometimes in exchange for filling out a quick survey, or sometimes just because they want to raise awareness of a certain token. I got an airdrop earlier this month of ETHLend, their tokens. They're called Lend tokens. It's a peer-to-peer lending platform. It's really gone gangbusters this month. In an upcoming video, I'll explain in more detail how to set up a wallet, because you'll need one for anything you do related to blockchains and cryptocurrencies. But for now, I think that's a lot for today, so let's stop there. If you know me personally, email me, send me a message, a direct message on Twitter, a Facebook message, and let me know if you have any trouble with this. If you don't know me personally, you can leave a comment or go chat with the person who shared this video with you for more help. All right. Thank you so much for watching this Decrypting Crypto Show. I am Derek Silva, and remember, the internet always wins.